Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy Victor. Welcome to another episode of Drunk in Public. This is a very different intro, and I also know I haven't been doing enough intros lately. Still rusty from not doing these podcasts for a while. Still not getting in the grooves of having fun again with these podcasts. But anyway, we have a very special guest, Tripp, the new sales rep from Raft for the Texas market. Awesome guy. Had a fun podcast. But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on what you guys think, it was a great time hanging out. Me and Dom showed up, and we ended up talking a lot about sports and a lot about everything but Great Raft. We talked a little bit about Great Raft, but not enough. And we didn't talk about Tripp enough either. And I will have Tripp back on the podcast so you guys can see a little bit more of who he is. But you get to see some of his personality and some type of things he's into. Love sports. We did a lot of sports talking and a lot of industry talking, and it was a lot of fun. So I hope you guys enjoy. Sit back and relax. Grab yourself a beer. Cheers. Welcome guys to another week of Drunk in Public. It's a long overdue podcast with Great Raft, personally. Long overdue podcast with Tripp. We've met through over the years.
Yeah, just around the beer scene. Yeah.
But you've never been on the show, so I'm glad to have you on here.
Man. Trying to get my feet wet though. I mean, I've done one or two podcasts before, and that's about it.
But this is just a drunk show. Well, I'm glad to have you here.
Right.
And then we have my brother from another mother, Dom, here. He may or not.
Hi.
He may or may not be sober. We can't speak on that. But that's my brother from another mother. We did a drunk kind of thing earlier.
Questionnaire thing that all the questions he asked were bad.
I did something for lunch and trying to figure it out. Maybe you could be part of it too in the future. If I get it down, I don't know what I'm doing yet.
Yeah.
It's called Truth or Chug. Yeah, you either tell the truth or you chug a beer.
He thought I was gonna drink more than I answered, and I answered more than I drank.
No, that's why I fucked up and I was stuck at work because I did all the drinking, he did all the fucking answering. I'm like, fuck you. Fuck you.
Definitely give me like 2 weeks to prep for that, because as I told you before off the air, I had to jump into my barley wine collection after the LSU game. So
They lose? I didn't watch.
yeah,
Oklahoma lost, I know that.
Oklahoma got their ass kicked. We got our asses kicked. We got beat.
Who'd y'all play?
Mississippi State. So
What?
Mike Leach.
Mike Leach, man. Mike Leach.
Introduced the SEC.
Well, it's better than fucking losing at fucking K-State. Oklahoma lost to K-State.
This is just as bad.
It's the equivalent. Yeah,
This has nothing to do with beer, guys. I'm glad you guys are watching.
Mississippi State is the fucking piece of shit of the SEC. They're the worst team in the SEC.
No, but it's better than fucking K-State. It's better than losing to K-State.
Look, dude,
But the
I didn't want
equivalent-
to break down on LSU before,
I don't think it's equivalent.
but I knew it was going to happen at some point. Let's just get it out of the way. Mike Leach decided to introduce the air bomb. We have no quarterback. We have no secondary. It's going to be a rough season. It's going to be rough.
When do y'all ever have a quarterback? Other than Joe Burrow. Get out of here.
Hey, we had Jordan Jefferson. He was great until he
Oh, God.
beat the hell out of that guy and got suspended for the entire season.
They always have
You guys
talent.
are better than fucking Auburn. You had one quarterback in the last 45 years called fucking Cammy Juice Newton.
Yeah, that's true, too.
That's the only quarterback they ever had, so better than that, at least.
Yeah. Well, we'll be okay.
Not this year.
don't
Not
know.
this year.
It's okay.
Not this year. I hope you guys make it in the top 15. That's all I hope for.
I was really upset about our initial ranking until watching this game.
Fucking Oklahoma. First of all, shout out again. There's nothing to do with beer, guys. I'm so sorry. We opened it very weirdly. Oklahoma was ranked third or second. Where they opened up this season? They ranked.
They were better than us.
They were ranked third, I think.
Third or fourth.
I think they were third or second. I'm gonna put it on the screen. If I'm wrong, I'll put it up on the screen right now. If I'm right, you won't see it. So, because I'm fucking right. No, but they lost to K-State. K-State's the fucking. It's not a football fucking college.
Yeah, they used to have a squad back in the day.
They used to be.
I remember
They were
being,
good in 05.
Yeah, like when we were kids.
When they had that quarterback that got indicted
they had
for
a few
rape.
Players, yeah, they had a few players. Okay, K-State, good.
They were good. The big,
They'd
that was
upset
Kansas. The big
UT
fat guy,
every line.
Mangino or whatever, Mangino.
Mm-hmm. in a weak division.
Now I'm thinking of Kansas, not Kansas State.
No.
Big 12 used to be serious.
No, like the Big Ten. Big Ten was serious.
No, Big 10 is trash. Big 12 used to be good.
Good old OU, Ohio, got it.
No, Texas, because when Texas was good, Oklahoma was good. Everyone, there was like at least 4 good teams in the Big 12.
Got it.
All right.
The worst teams in the fucking SEC.
What are you, a Syracuse fan?
No, I'm an Auburn fan actually.
What bandwagon? He's a bandwagon fan.
I'm not a bandwagon fan.
He's a bandwagon fan like he's a bandwagon beer nerd.
This is fact. Moving on to that.
So hard hits from Dub. Let's talk about beer now.
Yeah, this is facts. Moving on. So the guest we have on, I said Tripp from Raft, but we actually haven't talked anything about Raft. Thank you, Tripp, for being on here.
Appreciate it.
Raft. Thank you. We're drinking the watermelon Walker.
Yeah, we're calling a
Texas
Watermelon
Ranger thing?
Texas Ranger.
That's a long name. I fucked that all the way up though.
It takes a while to get used to. Just think watermelon, Walker melon, 'cause, Walker Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
It takes a while to get to. It's long-winded.
Good beer.
Very
Solid
good.
beer.
Very
It's
good.
damn good beer. Yeah, so it's a New England style. It's what we got. What we do pretty much with a lot of our beer series is we do kind of rotators. So we've got our Life Itself rotator, which is our Goza line. So you'll see a new rendition of that every couple months. Our IPA series, which this guy's a part of, would consist of our Rhinestone Life, our Grace and Grit, all those good heady guys. So this guy's the newest one we got to the market since I've started. So I got started with the brewery a couple months ago, and we started brewing this.
Congratulations,
so
yeah.
Pretty happy I get to coattail this guy coming into the market.
It's a solid beer to coattail, but also a solid people. Like, forgive me, I forget the owners' names, but I've met them. They did a collab with Celestial.
Yeah,
I had a chance to meet them. Again, I apologize for not remembering.
Andy and Lindsay.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Andy and Lizzie. Super sweet people, super sweet. I love them to death. The little bit of time we spend time together is super nice.
Yeah, they're doing such a great thing for the Louisiana beer scene. Real good family. They take a lot of care into the production of their beer, but also they give a ton back to their community. Real cool to be a part of all the stuff they're doing so far. Plus, they're LSU fans, so you got to circle back.
Hand in hand, hand in hand. What if they were Auburn fans? How upset would you be?
Dude, look, man, I came on the spirit side. I had to work with people from Tuscaloosa pretty heavily.
Wow.
And having to sell a whiskey
But
from
people don't know
Alabama.
Tuscaloosa. No, that's the Auburn fucking capital.
Oh, it's Alabama.
That's
dude.
Alabama.
No, I know plenty of people from Tuscaloosa.
Well, Auburn's Montgomery.
Yeah, Tuscaloosa's Alabama.
So alcoholic stupidness. I meant Montgomery. Sorry.
Dude, I wouldn't make that claim in Alabama. Walking into a Tuscaloosa bar claiming it a War Eagle capital.
Unfortunately, I've been all up and down Alabama repping Auburn. War Eagles. It wasn't pleasant because it's roll tide all over Alabama.
Well, so we used to go growing up, predominantly in Louisiana, and then going to LSU. We'd always call the Auburn fans booger eaters.
I can see that.
It's a little bit easier to get into Auburn than Alabama, from what I've been told.
A lot easier.
Is it?
From what everyone I've met,
I would have thought that both are very easy to get into.
It's the SEC. I mean,
All you have to do is have a pulse and don't have an STD.
No, that's Texas Tech.
No, that's
Texas Tech.
not Texas
I
Tech.
got Texas Tech.
No, I think that's any SEC school.
I did not get into.
yeah. I mean, we got Vanderbilt. They're smart.
Oh, yeah, that's the smart one. Yeah, I always forget about them.
Because they don't really
Fucking Jake Cutler.
play sports. But
They don't play sports. They just.
Yeah, that's actually in Nashville. It's actually a good area.
Florida has good fucking academics too. The Gators.
Florida who?
Florida Gators have good academics as well.
I think that's like a relative term. Like,
you can write your name.
they have a school.
You can breathe.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, guys. If you came for beer, we talked about sports.
I'm already alienating the entire second half of the SEC
Well, what's the
podcast.
What's the joke? There was I don't want to tell the joke because I don't know the joke, but Ohio State and Michigan always talk shit about each other.
State also like a high academic school?
No.
So is A&M's a high academic school as well.
The Mays Business School is it UT or A&M?
It's A&M.
A&M, I mean, they're
I think it's the business school is good and the engineering is good at A&M.
Yeah, but isn't that the same thing for
Same with UT.
State?
Yeah. No.
I can't attest to it. I've met a couple
People
people
comment
from
below
Starkville.
what school in the SEC is high academics. Obviously, it's not Auburn or Alabama.
It's definitely not LSU. Let me tell you that.
Is that where you went?
Yeah.
I was not
Okay.
those three. So
I went to UTD, so I can't even
Comment
talk
below.
shit.
I really need this information. Comment below where in the SEC has high academics. 'Cause
I would tell you, I don't think
outside
any of them.
Vanderbilt, I think
Vanderbilt, that's it.
outside of Vanderbilt, we have I think Florida.
No.
is a good one.
No, it's
They're not in the SEC, are they?
It's just
Yeah,
Vanderbilt.
Florida's an SEC, man.
It's
Oh, I was gonna say, I thought they were like ACC.
No, SEC East is
Florida State,
West and
no,
East.
no, I don't think Florida is.
I think it is, man.
I can't.
Florida
confirm.
State is
It's
not.
probably a Mississippi State, some crap.
Florida
Like
State.
the worst football team is probably the better
Yeah.
school.
Ole Miss has got some good.
Ole Miss has some good
Yeah,
schools.
Ole Miss, I
There's
can
some
see
good-
that.
They have a doctorate degree out there at Ole Miss, man. So Ole Miss is on there. A&M has that doctorate as well.
I forget A&M's in the
Yeah, in the
SEC.
West, they're SEC West, man.
We got Missouri.
Yeah, so A&M might be the best
Is
school in the
Missouri's
SEC.
a good law school.
Yeah, they got a good law school.
To me,
sports
A&M's not SEC, but whatever. They are legitimately.
But they fought.
But I grew up with them in the Big 12.
Well, they were in the Big 12. They fought to get in the SEC West.
Mizzou.
Mizzou's another good school.
Yeah, it's probably a good school.
It's another good academic.
My one of our good buddies, he's the DC over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Missouri, I got Missouri on there. I think Florida really is on there too, in my opinion. I know, of course, I never got.
Why do you love Florida so much? What do they do? You date a girl that went to Florida or what?
No, I'm from New York City. Florida's like the second cousin. Florida's like our second cousin. All right, let's get back in the beer.
Cool, yeah. So, anyways, back to Walker Melon Texas Ranger. So it's a New England style IPA.
Thank you.
So it's very good. We put a lot of love into it, just to really accentuate the mouthfeel. We're using.
So, offhand and note, like, do you guys actually put watermelon in it, or is it like?
So we'll get to that. Yeah, I'll
okay.
give you a quick walkthrough. Nowhere near as geeky as what our master brewer wanted me to say, because it
don't
was
be too geeky.
a damn near essay. And it would sound like I graduated from Vanderbilt, but
You might have grabbed if you say the whole essay. I just need just basic information for dumb beer nerds like myself.
so
like
yeah. Well, we're using a heavy amount of wheat notes on this, just to have that that mouthfeel to really accentuate the style. And a big part of that too is watermelon's such a hard fruit to really get the flavor.
It
to
is.
be
That's
the
what I was asking,
forefront. So to start with it, when we're doing the first boil, we're not using any bittering hops. Pretty much, I think they add a little bit to it.
Okay.
But the goal with this is to really accentuate the esters. When that yeast is converting, and make sure that we're getting that tropical flavor. Because there at the end, when we're crashing this beer, we're using a watermelon tincture. So it's,
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have bartended, with tinctures before, but I mean, it's a heavy dose of flavor in a small amount. So that kind of allows us to get that good flavorful watermelon, especially on that finish of this beer. So
I really believed. So, just tasting the beer, I've been lucky to have it. The first rendition of it a few months back. Mm-hmm. Had the most recent one at Craft and Grouse on Saturday, and having this one, the same. It's just very nice hint of watermelon. So if you would ever say like, yeah, there's a puree of watermelon there, I would be surprised because it's hard to do actual watermelon fruit and get that watermelon flavor out because it's just water at the end of the day. It's very hard to get those sugars to protrude through.
So one thing to circle back around on that flavor profile though is that we're not just getting that kind of melon flavor from the tincture alone. So like I said before, like we really wanted the esters, the yeast to really kind of go forefront. And so when we're fermenting this beer, we're using kind of a higher fermentation temperature. That way we're getting kind of more full bodied. And we're using this super hungry yeast that's kind of naturally yielding, kind of like a guava like taste off the esters. So kind of be able to play off that.
So
Do you know what yeast you're using?
It's a super aggressive ale yeast. They didn't give me a full detail on what it was. It's something they picked up specifically for this beer.
So I apologize to people who are listening to this podcast. Dom's here from False Idol, the owner of False Idol Brewing. Also been in the craft beer game for over 9 years now. So that's who's speaking right now, asking that amazing question. Thank you, Dom.
It sounds like Kavike, but I'd be curious to know what the answer
Would it
is.
be Kavike? Because Kavike, I have a really distinct
Kavike is
don't think
a
it's
very
melon forward.
It's just a crazy yeast. It's very
Like, very
affordable.
aggressive,
Yeah, like
I have
you
a
can
big
ferment like 90 to 90 degrees. It's hot fermented. It's crazy. I would, if I had to guess, it'd be London 3 or the Imperial Juice. It's pretty much the same. So.
My biggest thing is I have a big disdain for Kvike yeast. Now, it could be just because I've been lucky enough to talk to people like you guys who talk to me about that style, or Kvike yeast, or just yeast in general as far as fermentation. I'm not a big fan of it.
If this is Kvike, this is the best beer I've ever had with Kvike.
It would be.
Yeah.
Our friends at Craft and Growlers brew with Kvike yeast.
It's terrible.
I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of Kvike yeast. Not disrespecting anybody from Craft and Growlers or the brewery.
It's just cheap.
It's not a good yeast to use. And many other breweries here locally in DFW use Kvike yeast as well, and I'm not a big fan of it.
We, with the last brewery I was at, I know we played with a couple pilot batches with Kvike, and I find that it's kind of difficult to use. I mean,
It just doesn't taste.
It doesn't. It's hard to stand out among so you put a hazy versus a hazy, and if you did, that's why I would guess it's not Kvike, but I'd be surprised if it is. You put a Kvike beer versus like a non-Kvike beer, and it's regardless of IPA, whatever style it is, like it's going to be middle of the pack. It's not gonna be shitty, but it's gonna be middle. It's never gonna be amazing.
right.
That's what I've gathered from just trying them.
Yeah, I'd be interested to try some, kind of larger format production Kvike beers. I
would too.
I get the allure. It's super cheap.
Yeah.
It's affordable.
Like I said, I've had quite a few pilot batches with it. I've had a couple homebrew batches
Well, you
with
worked
it.
at a bigger brewery as well. Some of Grey Raft is not the. It's a big. For no disrespect to Grey Raft, Grey Raft is a bigger brewery, but you worked at other bigger breweries as well. So you have the experience of working in production. You have the experience of working in craft beer. So I'll be interested to see those bigger production breweries you worked at. Their example of those Kvike yeast, like.
Shoot, it sounds like we need to formulate a Kvike Fest once we can start opening up. It's just
We can make it happen.
Everyone bring your Kvike boys.
Yeah.
Maybe make it a private event for all the local breweries and have a fun thing to meet up, because I talked to Dom about this, and I had the conversation, talked to the owners of Tubbs recently, and the same thing is like, when's the last time we all hung out to each other?
I know exactly what it was. It was the Pink Boot Society Festival before over at Craft and Growler.
Oh yeah, I was there.
Tubbs was in there. You were there.
I think I was shotgunning
We were shotgunning
tap waters all night,
Oh,
and
hey.
spicy boys too.
No, yeah, I did this.
The spicy pickles.
No, I did not do that. I did the swirl from Martin House, and I did the tap water from Texas Enterprise Room.
Yeah, the tap water, that's perfect with shotgun. But we were whipping out those spicy.
Oh yeah, we were getting crazy.
So I was doing a swirl, and I ended up leaving my tab open. And when they called me the next day, it's like, "Hey, your tab's open. You want us to close it?" Like, how much is the tab? They're like, they set the price. I'm like, I fucked up. Yeah, you close it. Close it. I fucked up.
It's not as bad as last year though. The year before, remember when you drove me home, bought me egg roll hut.
Yeah, we fucked up last
And,
year too. We fucked up 2 years back to back.
Both of us were walking around like little humping midgets.
Man, it was
It was fun.
that was a 4-day hangover, man. I don't think I will ever be able to drink a spicy boy again after that. But it's good.
Well, I didn't realize they changed it. So there's a Bloody Mary michelada spicy pickle now.
I actually tried it.
It sounds good.
They threw like a ton of different like vegetables and spices in it to kind of. It's not. They're not going for a Bloody Mary taste, but they were trying to make that a component for a Bloody Mary michelada. And
I thought the regular one would have been perfect with a michelada. Honestly,
I wouldn't know because I haven't had one since I shotgunned. So
Yeah, I don't know.
but the spicy one was gross. It was like Fireball, man. Yeah, I wish. You know what? I do remember like the next couple of days was pretty rough in the bathroom.
yeah, that was.
My guts were burning.
It was definitely a good showing for us before the shutdown.
It was a good showing for all of us locally here, but no, what I was trying to say with the Tubbs owners was 6 years ago, right? I got into craft beer 4 years ago. I don't know how long you've been drinking craft beer, sir. How long you been drinking?
Man, so I'd say like the first time I really jumped into craft beer was probably my junior year of college. So that was
Like 5 years ago.
2012. Yeah, 2012.
Wait a little bit more than 5 years ago.
A little bit more,
A little
but
bit. It's still 5 years ago. Let's say 5.
yeah, professionally getting paid to do it, it's only been about probably 4 years.
So you about the same time frame, right, Dom? 2013 for you for craft beer, 2012.
Yeah.
So you guys been drinking a little bit more craft beer than I have. So my thing is this: when I first got into it, it was such a hyper local meetup where people from Petticolas, Tubbs, Texas Ale Project, Community, fucking Franconia Raw, everybody was still hanging out with each other at the time, and that's why I fell in love with the community, because it was such a hyper local thing, man.
Right.
Freaking Turning Point didn't open yet when I first started drinking craft beer. They were about to open. All the big breweries now they didn't open yet here locally that are open now. But it was still such a hyper. So thank you, sir. Yes, I will love one. Thank you. It was such a hyper local thing, but they all hung out with each other.
Yeah.
But everybody's so busy now they don't get to do it. I would love to have an event like the Brewers Ball, similar to it.
Oh, yeah.
Where we all get to hang out outside of consumer part of it and just hang out, because that's the part of the beer community I would love to hear. And how can we get Great Raft involved to be in those things?
The Brewer Haters Ball.
Brewers Ball, yeah.
Brewer Haters Ball.
I would love to have a Brewer Haters Ball. I would love to have it, but I don't think people will support that. I would love to have it.
I mean, feed off your point. I mean, that's one of the biggest draws for me for the industry in general. I mean, just how large it was, but how small of a community it is. Because, I mean, I think it kind of really reflects on, the service industry in general, too. Because, I mean, shoot, I was doing spirits for a long time, and you do that long enough, you know everybody, and it's always fun to have. We'd always have the bartender's ball with Jameson, which that was
I can only imagine.
That's
a
shit show that I can't repeat, but
man, we're not speaking. This is not the podcast for it.
But I will say, to your point, I mean, it's really refreshing to have everybody in the industry all together, kind of enjoying and celebrating what we're all working so hard to do. So I mean, I think we in general as a industry just needs to jump on it as soon as we get the green light to gather. Because I think it's going to be like, I think we've all, every single brewery that you've mentioned, like Dom, I know you guys opening up during all this too had to jump through hoops to deal with the changing times. I mean, we've all worked so hard to make sure that not just our livelihood, but our quality is still there. So we kind of, I guess, are due a celebration once all this opens.
We need to, but it's gonna be hard. Like, okay, similar question, but a little transition, right, guys? So I want you to think about this question too, Dom. At the end of the day, right? I know you're newer to Great Raft, but they did a great collab with Celestial a little bit before your time. Not that much longer.
Oh yeah, I told you that would happen. I mean, I drank it.
It's a great beer. It was a great beer, and a little before you started working there. It's not like you never experienced it, because you were here at DFW drinking that beer. You were here. But what can we do? Because believe it or not, in my opinion, Oklahoma and Louisiana are beer communities as well. So when this was all said and done, this lockdown, and we could fully open up, maybe 2025. We could fully open up.
Say it like that.
2025?
Dude.
It's a joke.
Dude, Jesus.
It's a joke.
I hope not.
But when we all could finally fully open up, right, and support each other again, how can we bring our sister beer communities involved, right? Because I love the community in Oklahoma. I love the beer community in Louisiana. How can we bring our sister communities involved?
I think, just the more collabs we could all do as breweries will really help that. I mean, I know, we did a couple weeks ago, we did a collaboration with a Hawk Moth up in Arkansas.
Oh, I don't know who they are. I'm sorry.
So it's I'll try to sneak you.
I would love cans. One. I would love one. Yeah.
But delicious beer, real cool, real funky. It's a Norwegian IPA, but it's similar thing. They're just trying to get back to normalcy. Our guys get to go up there, hang out. You get to see a whole different community within the beer scene, and it's kind of a mini celebration for two breweries.
So is that Kvike?
No one's doing Kvike yeast.
Norwegian.
Man,
that's why they probably called it that.
It might have been. Look, dude,
they did it.
Because I've seen people call it Norwegian Pilsners, and I'm like, what's that mean? You use Kvike, and they did, so.
It may be.
Really? Well, you know better than me. I'll take that back, yeah.
I'd have to check when I get home, because I think I got the specs on it. I should have brought it, but like I said, this was supposed to be a casual podcast.
It is a casual. It's not everything, but my thing is, at the end of the day, listen, for people listening, we did a video about 7 months ago now, when he had the collab with Celestial, with Grey Raft. And prior to that, we had a great conversation with Kirk, the previous DFW sub-rep, was a great guy. We did a big, quick, fun event with him. So people following the podcast long enough, that's who Kirkland was. He worked for Grey Raft, and Tripp took his spot. But it's not just that. It's just like we have a sister community in Louisiana, and I just want to bring that back. I love the DFW community. I love the camaraderie in it, and I want to extend that to our Oklahoma brothers and sisters,
Right.
our Louisiana brothers and sisters, you know, and how we get them to the fold, you know?
Yeah, I think, just having like, some type of Brewers Ball, would be perfect. 'Cause technically we're not local, but we kind of are. We're, damn near 3 hours away.
You touch the state.
You're
closer than St. Arnold.
Some people would argue it's pretty much East Texas.
Yeah.
It is East Texas. Listen, I drive faster to get to Shreveport, than fucking anywhere else in fucking Texas. I can get to Shreveport faster than I get to fucking San Antonio.
It's refreshing how quick it takes to get to Shreveport from here. Because that used to be my 1/3 in to my trip to go to school back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
You get Shreveport and head down to Lafayette, and then you're not even halfway there at that point. So it's really refreshing being that close.
What's the college in Shreveport?
Well, they got Centennial.
There's the one with the stadium.
Centenary, and then you got LSUS.
That's
so
what it
it's
is.
like our sister school.
Which is LSU.
It's LSU.
Yeah.
I thought it was like UL Lafayette, no?
Nah, it's in Lafayette.
I don't know. I remember driving by it. I don't know what it is.
You're thinking about the Independence Bowl. It's right there. So
Maybe. Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, so it's built like obviously for the local schools, but that's like the state fair. They'll have a couple games up there. Like I think it's Grambling State and Southern they play up there every year.
Why do people love Grambling so much?
And marching.
Grambling?
It's the marching band, dude.
The band is great. It's awesome.
A rowdy drum line.
Yeah, that's like Drumline, the movie, in real life.
But it's always them. So they're the North Louisiana Historical Black College, and then we've got Southern down in Scotlandville, which is pretty much Baton Rouge. So they play once a year, and I'm pretty sure they play up in Independence Bowl. I think so.
I think they do. And again,
Yeah, that's the Independence Bowl.
This is the guy who vaguely watches college football just for betting. So I don't know much. So I lean to you guys more than my knowledge. But I just never understood the love in Louisiana for Grambling. I never understood that.
I didn't know they were in Louisiana, honestly, until you said that. So
Yeah, it's they're right outside. I'd say I should know this because it's right by where my parents live. It's outside of Ruston, Louisiana, which is about, I'd say, 45, 50 minutes outside of Shreveport. So,
Are they a medical school too as well?
Grambling?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think they are a medical school.
I think you just think every school is great.
No, I don't think every school. Grambling, believe it or not, even though they have a shitty fucking football team, I think they're a medical school as
I mean,
well.
that's a whole nother story. But yeah, they used to be good.
Grambling?
No,
Never.
back in
They won a national championship?
historically they were good.
They won a national championship?
I'd have to go back. Like I'm talking about the 50s.
They didn't.
They were good because
They won a national championship?
why are they calling it historical black college?
Okay, that's a bit racist because they're...
No, they were better. They had all
Had nothing
because
to do
all
with
the other
winning.
teams were all white. And
Had nothing
then
to do with winning, though.
you better take this shit off. You don't leave this
I'm
on.
not keeping it in. I am not keeping it in. At all. I am not keeping it in.
No, really, I think they were really good back in the day.
Yeah,
Like,
they
those were
won
the teams that were
games, but They
good.
haven't won a national championship.
God, they've had a couple big names.
Because what's the one that Jerry Rice went to?
Grambling.
No, he didn't.
He got
I thought he won the Grambling.
Because Tio went to Tennessee Chattanooga,
He went to Chattanooga.
and Jerry Rice went to like southern
Bo Jackson went
Mississippi.
to Auburn.
No, is it Jacksonville State?
That's what it was.
Yeah.
So who was the
Mississippi.
Grambling then?
Nobody.
There was a famous football player who went to Grambling.
Quarterback for the Eagles?
Not Donovan McNabb. He went.
No, the other one.
Cunningham?
Yeah, didn't Randall Cunningham play at Grambling?
Nah, I thought he kept in state. I thought he was a Houston guy.
I thought he was a Texas
No,
guy,
that's
too. I thought he was a
you're
Texas
thinking
guy.
of someone else.
I thought Cullo was a.
It was like Reed or something that played for
well, fucking
Houston,
Bo Jackson went to fucking Auburn.
Auburn, and then he got fucked over, and then because he got drafted by the Bucks.
Yeah. Then went to fucking
The Raiders.
Raiders.
All right, I'm searching this because that's actually going to bother me.
I just need one guy.
Grambling quarterback.
I don't think it was a quarterback. I thought it was a running back.
I think it was a quarterback.
I think it was a running back.
I thought it was Ronald Cunningham.
But didn't Cunningham?
Where did Warren Moon go? I think it might have been Warren Moon.
Warren Moon. Where did he go? I don't know when Warren Moon went to school.
I think he went to
He did
Grambling
not go to Texas.
because remember he didn't go to he had to play for the Canadian football league because they didn't want black quarterbacks. That was in it's wild as that was in the 90s.
That was 97? 90. There was no black quarterbacks in 97?
No, not 97. What's the guy? Doug
Doug Flutie went up there too.
played for the Washington football team, currently. The current name. Doug something. Doug Johnson?
Was it Doug?
Black dude. He was the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
Doug Flutie was a little tiny white guy.
Doug something.
You're right. Didn't he go to New England? Doug Flutie went to New England.
He played for the Chargers for a long time.
He played for Boston.
The Boston State. He won
Boston
that
College against Miami.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm sorry.
He had the Flutie.
The fucking
Hail
bomb.
Mary,
Yeah, the bomb.
Let's see.
This is a sport podcast now, guys. With a hit of beer. Yeah, a hit of beer.
Dallas's own Erica Badu went to Grambling. So
Oh, nice.
Hey,
shout
shout
out to the Queen of Dallas.
That's not Erica Badu right now, but yeah, let's say it's Erica Badu playing right now. This is fucking, what's her name? Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
Interesting. Not many good players that I could point out, but this is a sports podcast now.
Yeah, it's a sport podcast. No,
Wait, I thought there was nobody that went to Grambling that we're just like making up it in our
Lauryn
head.
Hill. Yeah, we were making it up in our own.
Damn.
I mean, like they've got a lot of good musicians that have come out of there.
So what's y'all's year-round lineup now?
Yeah, so our flagship guys are our Southern Draw. It's a dry hop pilsner. It's what was always one of my favorite beers, even before I signed on with the brewery.
Self rice?
Yeah, Louisiana rice.
That thing is a crusher. I like that one.
Yeah,
Same with the black lager. I like the black lager.
Yeah, so the black lager is our reasonably corrupt, so that's also a year-round boy. And then Commotion's our hazy pale ale. So those are reasonably corrupt was the first beer that Andy and Lindsay made. So they hang their hat on that, and then Southern Draw just as a beer, it's paying homage to Louisiana production, keeping everything local, but also dry hopping as well. You don't see too many dry hop pilsners out in the market these days.
It's a trend I wish kept on in 2019. It did not keep in 2019. I really wanted that to be a trend.
Yeah,
did not stick. I'm really a pleasant surprise that you guys came back. False Idol did one in excuse me, guys. I apologize for skipping our name. Odd Muse. Odd Muse did a dry pilsner hop.
Which Odd Muse was a dry hopped?
I don't fucking catch me lying their name. Fucking Bobby, I'm sorry. Your name sucked dick. I don't remember any of your names. I will put
Backyard Rodeo.
Don't catch me lying. I can't remember any.
Probably.
It's probably that.
I can't remember any. I'm gonna put it on the screen right now. I don't know their name. Sorry, Bobby. Sorry. But yeah, I really thought the next big beer for like North Texas in general was gonna be the dry hop pills. Dom said it wasn't, and I believed it was, and I'm glad we didn't bet because I would have lost a lot of money. I would have fucking lost a lot of money. But I believe it's just,
Why did I tell you it wasn't? Do you remember? Because I can tell you the same thing.
I don't remember.
People don't like bitter shit.
But it's such a
General consumers,
yeah.
because it's all of us are different than the general consumer. General consumers want crushable ass beer, and then if it's an IPA and it's crushable, that's why hazy IPAs took off, because it's high ABV, 9%, or 12% sometimes. It doesn't taste like an IPA, but it's you saying you're drinking an IPA. Mm-hmm. So now you're like, I'm in the craft beer community, and I drink craft beer, and they're getting hammered. People like to drink.
Do, but
and that was my point on the dry hop pills is
we
like
talk about this at craft
people
Rock
just want a crusher
thing.
of a pilsner.
But here's the thing though, listen, the crushable dry hop pills is bitter but not too bitter. It's not like a West Coast bomb. It's never gonna be that, but it's crushable, man.
But palates, like you said, palates.
Palates are different, yeah. Palates are different. Yeah.
It depends on what your approach for pilsner or lager are going to be. I mean, obviously we all are within this industry, so we want that easy to drink, crushable,
All day
something with a
drinking.
bite. But some people just
So we
don't
drink
go
more
for
beer all
it.
day, man.
Yeah, so our blonde, when we did our first blonde, it was dry hopped, but I didn't say it. I didn't mention it in the marketing or anything because the consumer that's going to drink a blonde doesn't want to know that that's dry hopped or double dry. Like, they're like, I just want to drink something that tastes like Coors Light,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and so they just want something plain.
It's like an entry craft beer. It's for someone who's probably showing up to a brewery with their friends who are way more into the scene than they are, and it's something.
Yeah, you get those random customers, and they're like, "Give me something like banquet beer," and you're like, here you go."
Yeah,
It's tough, yeah.
I'd say the number one question I used to get whenever I'd work the tap room over at Texas Ale Project was, what beer do you guys make with wheat? Or what beer tastes like Blue Moon?
Well, y'all don't have a wheat beer.
It never did.
That's why we did our hef. So when we were at Full Clip, one of our
Who would come up and
biggest.
say, I want a wheat beer?
No, yeah, you get a people bunch. Dude, it's crazy. Like you were a bartender before.
Yeah, but I did cocktails.
Sitting back there with the craft beer industry, it's a lot more picky, and you get the craziest questions.
For me,
And like that's just like the simple, like the
for
stuff.
me, it's very odd. So I'm a little behind the times for craft beer. So I bartended for many years. So think about 2012 to 2015, I bartended, right? But that's all cocktail, right? But craft beer,
That was the beginning of the mixology boom up here, man.
that's what I'm saying. I did everything was fucking like, what can we do to make a fucking sweet beer that's not diabetes and make it fucking everybody wants to crush it.
Right.
That's all it is. Like what fruit, what you can do. Like I did a lot of cocktails. It was never beer. No one came up to me about beer. Because if it was beer, they're like, you got Banquet, literally Banquet. You got Banquet, you got Bud Light, you got Coors. That's it. That's all they wanted.
High Life,
Lone Star.
High Life Ponies.
High
were
Life
always-
was only fucking Houston.
Yeah, if you were in Texas, it was Lone Star is a big seller here.
China was a big seller too.
Montucky.
Yeah,
But it's just-
Montucky's the
But that's recent now. Yeah.
It's interesting, but okay, Tripp, you've been in craft beer industry for a little bit, right? For a time. In your opinion, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but what can Great Raft do to be a staple here at DFW? It's not a local beer, but it's close enough.
Man, for me personally, it's all about the personal touch, but also like really leaning in and making sure that we're producing quality beers. And a lot of that has to do with really, really pushing your flagships. Because I feel like lots of breweries really lean on their seasonals, which is great, but you need to have something that resonates. Because like we were talking about, when you have your casual person that comes in who they're not looking for a hot bomb, they're not looking for a stout with 8 adjuncts in it. They're looking for something that they can crush at home, and having that staple and get that customer for life. And for us personally, I mean, I feel like we, as a team, have done a great job portraying the brand everywhere. With everything that we do locally for Louisiana. Having guys like Kirkland, who he worked for the brewery for 6 years, and I'm hoping to do the same thing. Everyone knew Kirkland, so for me that's awesome because it makes it a lot easier to transition into a role when everyone loves the guy compared to
You hated the guy.
sometimes people screw up, and it's a little hard to come back from that.
It's a
But
little easier to follow that, but it's just interesting. I really believe in hyper local, but Great Raft is right there too. Like, listen, Great Raft, believe it or not, hyper local. They're closer than Houston. They're closer than fucking San Antonio, and we got those beers out here too. So, I put Great Raft on that level. That's not even a fucking word. level of local craft beer, and I want to see them succeed. So, we'll love to see what would it.
Plus, they're better than any brewery that you just, in those cities that you just said,
Houston, yeah, definitely.
and San Antonio.
Houston.
I don't think there's a good brewery in San Antonio.
I'm a little biased because when I was getting into craft beer, I was in Louisiana, so Great Raft, NOLA, all those guys were the ones that we were first jumping onto, like Parrish, when they really hit the scene with
Parrish is dope though, but they're dicks.
Dude, I can't really attest.
Because at least
to everybody
Andy
that
and
works
Lindsay
here.
are great people.
Yeah, they're great people, and that I can't
You shouldn't say anything.
How good it is to have, owners who really care about the brand and care about their people and care about just the beer community in general.
They're very meticulous, man. Because I've worked closely with them, and Andy's a good dude. Lindsay's awesome.
I've never.
Lindsay's the ball buster, and Andy's the nice guy.
Is he?
It's good cop, bad cop. It's great. It's perfect. It's the best thing.
I've only dealt with Andy before, and I love Andy to death as far as
But they're both awesome, and like they very analytical about everything that they do.
They're analytical, but like circle around. I mean, I've worked corporate jobs in the alcohol industry where the people on top are so detached from everything that you're not getting the questions of what can we do to make your job easier from the corporate guys. You're gonna turn around and hit you with numbers and be like, okay, why is this tequila not selling as well as this tequila? And obviously you can't tell them because you're not spending the marketing, because then it gets turned around like, well, you should be out there selling it more.
It's such different regions. So here's the thing. This is Victor Santana talking. I'm gonna talk about a brewery that I love. That's not local. Epic Brewing. I love the beers Epic Brewing is doing.
Which one?
Epic. I love the.
Which location?
The Denver one. There's the Batista series. Oh, but it's all one owner, right? It's all one owner. It's still super local for them, right? But here's the thing, though. I know a bunch of their sales reps, and they're all a number guy, and they kill their sales.
He's
rep.
not there anymore.
He's not. The one that was the best seller of all time for them.
He's over at
Another brewery. We're not gonna talk about that.
Yep.
We're not mentioning that, but he moved on. But here's the thing: it's nothing to do with that. It's just a great beer. I met the owner, nice guy, number guy, but only cares about numbers. So when he had sales reps not meet numbers they expected, it's never been like, what can we do to boost these numbers? Like, it's your fault kind of thing. Again, it's experience kind of thing. It's also a personal kind of thing. So no disrespect to the people at Epic Brewing and the owners. It happens. It just happens. But I love to hear that transition with like Matt, Molly, Andy from Grey Raft, where I had a personal dealing with. They're super nice, and they're like, hey, we fucking failed to this aspect. Let's figure it out.
I find, I've only done spirit sales. That's since I've graduated college. I was supposed to go to law school, didn't do that. So this has been my career. And I think the more successful peeps in the industry are people who understand that what we do is relationship based. It's not, at the end of the day, it's not really about the numbers. Obviously they want to make money, but when you've got people who are dedicated to your brand, that own your restaurants, own bars, own liquor stores, and beer stores. I mean, the more you do to affect that social currency and that relationship, it kind of does much more wonders in your return on profits and proceeds. So that's one of the things. I mean, it's been an awesome breath of fresh air working for Great Raft, because I've had jobs where, like I've said, I mean, it's all the numbers thing. And I can go to my favorite cocktail bars, my favorite beer bars, and get these great relationships set up and get all this stuff going, but it's not get Buffalo Wild Wings, you know what I mean? Like,
but it's tough though. Like, listen, this is a small show, but I love the craft beer community. I love the hyper-local craft beer. I love the people here, man. Listen, I love everything about my people I drink with. So it's always about that. So obviously numbers are different, right? On a bigger scale, and I don't knock it, but my thing is this. Always going to be this. There's areas that won't sell well, and there's areas that will sell well. It's never the individual's fault unless they're not out there. If you have an individual seller who's not in the market selling, that's their fault. But if they're out there working, it's not their fault, man.
If you're out there working and doing it the right way, I mean, you're going to get proceeds. But, I mean, look.
Even the wrong way. A shitty sales rep, if he shows up, he's going to move some numbers.
But some people just don't show up, though.
That's a problem. You got to show up. That's the only right way for me. Listen, we all know people who are dickheads as sales reps. It doesn't just be beer. It could be anything. We all know a person who's a shitty person at a job. But if they show up, that's what it takes.
Right.
To be successful. They'd be more successful if people liked them. Of course. Yes. Of course. But showing up at your fucking job and being there helps.
Well, and the big thing that I've always preached in this role, you know, is like you're building like everything you do business-wise is a partnership, all right? Like you shouldn't go into a place with the end goal of making a sale. You know, you want to do something that is going to, you know, result in, you know, a beneficial symbiotic relationship, because, you know, when your beer's not selling and not making money somewhere, it's not making them money. So no one's going to be happy in that situation. But, like, you know, doing something and kind of molding, you know, not your sales pitch, but, like, you may need to go into a place and you have to hit numbers on your double IPA, right? Yeah. But they don't need a double IPA. They need a Pilsner, or they need an Amber Ale. Like, you need to be able, you gotta be able to adapt to the situation, and know doing something like that is a lot better for your relationship in the long run than your end of numbers, you know? Yeah. Because you'll find somewhere for that double IPA. But, you know, taking an interest in the business in general is, you know, by far above and beyond a better, you know, outlook on it, you know?
Well, definitely. But that's why I like well, I'm glad you're there at Great Raft, but I like the take of and the Great Raft team, though. Listen, they were prior to this whole lockdown, there was an event to go do a whole Great Raft tour that was going to be a big thing, that it was super exciting.
Hop on the bus?
Yeah, that was super exciting.
Yeah, so I've talked to, you know, Sydney and Deidre a good bit. I think we're going to keep that going. We need the green light, you know. We need to... So hopefully we'll be able to reopen the tasting room sooner rather than later. That's kind of been tough. I mean, you know, our sales have done really well on the package side. You know, since I've been with the brewery, you know, we've gotten nothing but good support from, you know, our local customers and partners up here, you know, and so it's been good. But, you know, that's unfortunately, like, I was, you know, up at the brewery a couple weeks ago. You know, like I said, my parents live out there, so I had to go house sit for my parents.
Well, very nice to you.
Right. But, you know, my parents used to live in the Dallas Metroplex, where that was an easy ordeal. And I'd be like, sure, I'll just, you know, hop on 75 and drive 15 minutes down the road and be there. But now I had to, like, you know, prep, and, you know, Andy and Lindsay are super understanding. So I took a PTO day and came up to the brewery on Friday.
I'm sorry.
And that was supposed to be when they're getting the word from the governor allowing reopening, and unfortunately it wasn't the case. So we were, you know, I'd say it was about 3:30 in the afternoon when we were going to open up at 4:30, and, you know, the governor decides not to let certain parishes open up. And so I know that's
insane.
Yeah, so it sucks, but, you know, at the end of the day, I think once we get to open up, you'll be ready to see a ton of events like that going back and forth, because, you know, just circle back on what we are looking to do to, like, you know, boost our awareness of the brand here and try to be hyper local when we're not, is, you know, getting those kinds of fun things going and getting people to the brewery, you know.
But yeah, believe it or not, you guys are hyper local. The whole podcast is meant for me and my friends like Dom and people like that drink local, but believe it or not, Great Raft is right down the fucking motherfucking street, man. Mm-hmm. You know, they're right there.
Yeah, I do know.
And it's just, I would love to see them out here more. And it's just because they're great people too, man. Like, the whole community, the Great Raft community is just great.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to get the entire team out here. I mean, everybody on the whole level, like from production all the way up to, you know, Andy and Lindsay are all awesome. You know, it's cool because, I mean, like, you know, being in the alcohol industry, you typically don't see places that don't have high turnaround. You know, it's like being a liquor rep, man. That's a 2-year gig.
Thank you.
You know, you work 2 years and hopefully you get promoted. If not, then you go do something else. And so that's kind of where I was enculturated at, where you have this high turnover, you know, and being on this end, I mean, pretty much everybody that's been there have been there since day one, you know, and if not, at the very least, you know, 5 years, which is awesome to be a part of, you know, having that idea of having a group that cares so much about a brand to where, you know, they're not leaving anytime soon. So that being said, I want to get all of them up here.
It'd be good to know.
Yeah, Bob comes up to DFW. I think he has friends that live by Good Friend, and I know the old brewer. What was his name? Well, he's not there anymore. But the old brewer used to come up here too, a lot.
Yeah, Andy and Lindsay, they like to come up here a good bit as well.
Well, we had that collab recently with Celestial.
That's the last time I saw
I
him.
would love to see them do more collabs. I'd love to see you guys do more collabs.
Well, we actually, on the way here, I texted Andy, and I was telling him when we're doing a collab, and he goes, he said, quote, whenever, boo. So,
We are here.
You heard it.
so
First,
I told him, I was like, let's do it at our place, do it at your place. So,
I would love to. I would love to see
yeah.
that.
No, I love, they're awesome. We when we signed them at Full Clip, we used to, this is the stuff that they don't do anymore. When we used to sign a brand, we used to christen them into the Full Clip community, and we would go down and like have a trip. And so we went out to Shreveport, and we stayed for a day. We were supposed to stay for 2, but Joey had a problem, like he didn't want to stay for 2 days. So we went for a day, and we just got, they took us around town. They were like, you want to go here? Like they took us everywhere. We got fucked up. It was fun.
Culturated, man.
But we did that there. We did that with Coop when we first signed Coop. They're not with Full Clip anymore. We did it with I did it with Rough Tail. I was always very big on, in order for me to sell these brands better, I want to meet the people. I want to understand the story behind the brand, of why this brand is better than this brand to the competitors.
Yeah.
Because it is a people. He said this earlier. He's like, it's a people-driven business. Sales is people-driven, regardless of the industry. But beer, it's even more. Because like, why do you talk? Why is False Idol one of your go-tos?
I love you guys.
Because you and I are very good friends.
Yeah.
And I think even if we weren't friends, I think we've had a relationship that was worthy of like, yeah. So like, but it's the same thing. It's like when someone gives you time of day, it's like talking to a girl. You go talk to a random girl you never met at a bar, and you're like, hey, you're talking only about her interests. She will give you time of day because people like to talk about themselves. And this is what JT told me, and he's a very smart guy.
JT is very.
And I think I was like,
Jacob Contreras. If any of our cigar podcasts, he was on there. Jacob.
JT, not Jacob.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. Sorry.
JT.
I fucked that up.
JT's never been on because he tucks his kids in at 9 and doesn't hang out with anyone. So,
But also love you, Jacob Contreras. You also kind of say the same.
but no, Jacob's smart too. But yeah,
That's the same thing. But yeah, go ahead, JT.
but like, I was like, man, that's really smart but it's also like it just works with anything. It's like it's sales 101. Like you just talk to them about what they want to fucking. Because you'll go into a bar and you're like, hey, I'm with so and so, just stopping by, and you'll vibe, like you'll read it, and they'll be like, I'm hungover, I don't want to do anything. And you're like, okay, cool. I'm not selling you anything today. And you're just like, here's some 4-packs. I just stopped by to show you guys some love. Appreciate y'all supporting us. If they don't carry you, then it's a whole different story. But yeah, it's just sales is an interesting thing.
Very.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been my thing is when I'm going to a place for the first time, I'm not even trying to sell anything. I want them to know who I am. I want to know who they are, especially when you go into the place you've never been to before. Like,
It's a personal connection, yeah.
Ask, have food there, ask them questions about their menu. Ask them why they like their beer selection the way it is,
Yeah.
Because you learn a lot about people whenever people open up, because they're used to...
Excuse me, sorry.
They're used to people coming in robotic.
Yeah, just like,
Can I sell you this?
we got this. Yeah.
And when they say no because they can't do it, the person will turn around and it's on to the next one. So it's a good change of pace, But I like the way Andy and Lindsay did that business with you guys, signing on with Full Clip and bringing you guys into the fold, because that's how
a
it
great
should
story.
be,
Yeah. There's another reason why I believe Grey Raft. They're not local. They're not a local brewery, but they are local. They're just as local as Ingenious. They're just as local as.
They're more local. So the problem is they're on the wrong state line. But like so when Courtney from Coop, we used to work closely with her. Like one of their
The Discord guy.
One of the big things that she would say was like, we're closer than St. Arnold is. So we are like in Oklahoma City, they're closer than Houston is.
Yeah.
So what's local to people? People don't know. They don't. And like it's like cool, like at least like the DFW, the Metroplex is like supporting each other, but it's like I've always been a big proponent of like just support good beer.
I'm a big proponent. That's the point of what I'm saying is like, listen, Great Raft is not technically a local Texas
But the
beer.
beer's good and it's
Beer's good,
affordable.
and they're local. They're within our time drive.
Commotion, I wish, and this is something I had, it was a pet peeve of mine early on, because I told them, I was like, Commotion was a pale ale, labeled as a pale ale early on. If it was a hazy pale ale or New England pale ale from like day one, that thing would have,
sold everywhere.
it does sell, it's a very good seller
It
still.
sells everywhere,
it's,
but it would have sold.
But it would have
everywhere.
been more, like, better perceived by consumers.
No, that sounded really dumb for what I said. I said it sells everywhere, but it was sold everywhere. What I was trying to say was it would have sold
It's a
more
great beer.
across state lines. That's what I was like.
It's like if
East Coast
GPA had a baby with like some turning point.
GPA from Three Nations.
Three Nations, yeah, because it's just like this sessionable hazy
it's
beer.
the easiest thing to drink.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
But what I would love to start, we're lucky enough to have Dom here, that worked not just only owns a brewery here in DFW, but he worked within the beer community to bring in sales, right? So I want to see Great Raft be more successful here locally, because I believe Great Raft is a local beer, in my opinion. Dom, what can we do to make Great Raft more successful?
Well, I think he's doing it.
Well,
I think having a salesperson is very key, because you got to have a person, you got to have someone that they can identify with.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
And I think that's the biggest thing, because I mean, it's not like they stopped making good beer.
appreciate it.
So that, I mean, yeah, that's it.
Have a good
So
sales
I
rep.
think it's just COVID kind of put a nail in the coffin, you know. It's like it ruined everything. But I think his role is the answer to your question.
Tripp, what can we do? So outside of Tripp and you, another owner, Tripp is a sales rep, you're an owner and also marketing here in DFW. What can someone like me or other people like me help support people like you or even Great Raft? Like, what can we do to help support?
I think anytime you drink the beer, share it on Instagram, share it on Untappd, share it on something. Like sharing, tagging, it goes a long way. Like the brand will repost that stuff. It's content. Content goes a long way.
Yeah, no, just to feed off of that. So, you know, jumping into this new role, it hasn't been a pitfall, but I'm dealing with a lot of COVID stuff. So, like, for example, we're
Kind of a pitfall. Not
Yeah,
of
it's
your own
100% pitfall. Yeah,
not
like-
of your own making, but yeah.
you know, chain stores, and people don't really want you, you know, pouring people beer in their store and, you know, risking, you know, COVID. And so, like, that's been one of the things. It's like, in my experience, is like with new beers and things that you kind of can properly geek about. And once you get, you know, like 2 minutes of someone's time and talk about the beer, you know, they're going to want to try it. Like, I haven't been able to have that like, not experience, but like that opportunity, because I mean, like, the Whole Foods, I can only hit 2 Whole Foods stores a week.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, we're not allowed to be doing in-store tasting, so anything, like, people tasting the beer out in the world, if you like it and you want to support it, like, post it, because fortunately we're in the world where social media is everything, and so
It is
repost to repost, man.
I made a horrible post that tagged you guys in this weekend with my favorite award called the Hater of the Year.
I saw the Craft and Growler.
Yeah, it was. It's my favorite trophy of all time. But that's not the post they want, though. They don't want the Hater of the Year post. But definitely. So where can we find this Watermelon Texas Ranger? I said the name already. I
The
know I said the
Watermelon
name.
Texas
Watermelon,
Ranger.
yeah, it is. Sorry.
So we've, you know, all the mom and pop independent bottle shops, you know, that we definitely need to continue to support.
Lakewood,
everybody's
Craft
got
Grouse.
it. Yeah, you know, we've got it there.
Lone Star Taps and Caps.
Oh, absolutely.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Central Market, we've got, you know, the setup there. Total Wine.
Nice.
As far as bars too, I mean, anybody who follows this can hit me up. You know, my social media tag is at Tripstagram214. You know, hit me up if
In
you're.
description down below. Hit them up, definitely. By the way, if you're watching this podcast, even up to this time right now, if you love Great Raft beers, even False Idol beers, hit up your local craft beer place and tell them you want that's the beer you want. You want False Idol, you want Great Raft, or any beer you might like in between as well. It is not limited to these people. If you like a beer and you want that in your spot that you drink at, let them know. Be free to let them know.
Exactly. If they don't have it, yell.
1,000%. Great Raft,
get it.
Commotion is a great beer. This watermelon beer is a great beer. Fucking, you guys make so many great beers, but again, people have this stigma against Great Raft. But even like Coop too, have this where they're not local. But I believe they are local, man. I really do.
Yeah, I think when we started off in this this craft beer boom, it was local or bust. I mean. And it's the same way, down in Louisiana. Whenever I was down there, I mean, it's you're wanting to support hyper local, but I think what we could do is kind of focus on beer of the South. Focus like let's support
that's a
Southern.
good way of saying it, yeah.
And, same thing. Support West Coast, East Coast, but because I feel like our industries continue to kind of get larger and larger. Everyone's making this badass beer, and we're kind of outgrowing just states in general,
I really think we are, especially here in DFW. We're lucky enough. Like, no disrespect to San Antonio, no disrespect to Houston or Austin. In DFW, we have so many great regions near us, Oklahoma City has so many great breweries. Oklahoma has bomb-ass breweries.
Right.
Louisiana has bomb-ass breweries. But even next to you guys, Arkansas have fucking bomb-ass breweries too,
Dude,
man.
Shit got payroll on Thursday. God damn it.
No, not keeping that in. No, but Arkansas has bomb-ass breweries,
Oh, yeah. I mean,
there's so many breweries in the South that are good. Listen, I love local. I love False Idol. I wear False Idol brand where I go not because they just make great beer. I love the whole team over
Oh,
there.
yeah, absolutely.
I love the whole family there. I will always support False Idol. But yeah, they're local. But there's so many other people just local too, man. Come on. I will never forget Coop. Coop supported this podcast before anybody else.
Yeah.
Fucking Great Raft supported this podcast before anybody else, So I'm never gonna forget those things, So they're local to me in my heart, in my eyes as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, we're people selling stuff. We're selling ourselves. We're selling, what we make and what we're producing.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
Yeah.
On a high note, this is gonna be a weird, short podcast because I feel like we've been here for 2 hours, but I feel like
yeah, I know. What time is it?
half of it's been off the air,
record.
off the record. But I want to end this on a positive note. I want to end this show on a positive note. First and foremost, how can we get Great Raft?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Market.
Out of this market, I mean, luckily, we've already been so well supported here that it's pretty easy to find. So, like we're talking about before, anytime that you have a bomb ass beer from us, or you had a great experience at a restaurant where you were drinking our stuff, this is not just me. I mean, it counts for False Idol. This counts for everything local that we
like to
want to
drink,
make sure. Yeah, just you gotta blow it up, man. And it's not going on blind eyes. I feel like we as an industry are still so young, and we are still a small blooming industry that, you guys out there at your favorite bar and favorite restaurant, taking pictures, man, we see it. I mean, the owners see it. I mean, it's great for morale. It's great for marketing.
Right.
It's
How old are you guys? 5?
6 years?
We're on 8.
8?
Yeah.
Wow, I was fucking way off.
We go to every time I go out there, we go to what's it called? Something C.
Oh, you're talking about Key Mexico?
Key Mexico. That's it. Yeah, because they only carry pretty much all your beer.
Yeah, they're great supporters. I've got, when I was in town last, whenever I was house sitting for my parents, I loaded up on there. They got this jalapeno puree over at Key Mexico that I use at the house all the time.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Last time I was there, Ethan bet me that I wouldn't. I can't even remember what it was. It was like a chug. Oh, I got a shot of mezcal and I got a Grayson Grit, and I bombed it and chugged it.
Oh,
Ooh, some SPD with double IPA, man.
That sounds so tough, man. That sounds tough.
I did
it was
years
fun.
selling mezcal, and I don't think I could ever do anything
Do you like
that
mezcal?
again.
I'm not a big fan of it, man.
I appreciate it for what it is. Let's just
If you
put
don't
it
like
that
mezcal,
way.
I got it. You good salesman. You appreciate what it is. I do.
So let's just say I won $50 on that.
Listen, Victor Santana does not appreciate mezcal, man.
With the red bandana.
I do not appreciate mezcal, man. Like, I drink anything.
Yeah, I was the agave portfolio manager for William Grant & Son. So I did Milagro Tequila, Montelobos Mezcal, Ancho Reyes.
For people watching, I made a face just because I forgot he said it like 5 minutes into the podcast. He did tequila for a while.
So this idiot, we're at lunch earlier, and he's like, on his phone, I'm like, hey man, you want one? And he's like, yeah, I'll take one. And so the girl asked me, do you want a shot with your beer? Because they had a happy hour where you basically got the same thing for free. And I was like, yeah, I'll take a tequila. I was like, what's your well tequila? And it was like Luna Azul or something. And I was like, you want one too? And he goes, yeah, sounds good. And then he gets it, and he's looking, he's like, what is this? No. And I'm like, dude, you said yes.
No, what happened was, here's the thing. He's right. Everything he was right to, not the reaction. What happened was, they poured the tequila in front of me. I'm texting, and I look up. I'm like, is that tequila?
Did you get the whiff of it? That was first.
Yeah. Is that tequila? They're like, yeah. I was like, you ordered it. I was like, no, I did not order tequila. He's like, you ordered what I wanted. I'm like, you ordered tequila? He's like, yeah. I was like, fuck. All right.
Man.
Like, you don't like tequila? I was like, I hate tequila. Tequila gets me naked.
He took it.
And I go to work.
Get you naked.
Tequila gets me naked, man.
They've done scientific studies on tequila.
It gets you naked?
There's something about the chemical balance within the agave that acts as like a super high upper at the same time as a depressant. So that's why it gives you that like wide awake, drunk feeling. Like you're going to the party, have fun. It's all about the sugar content of those plants.
God.
And look, dude, I love that company, but I wasn't 21 anymore, man. Like those guys who grew up in Oaxaca or grew up in Jalisco, who just drink that stuff like water, and it's just casual for them. And
I sounded like a bitch. I swear to God, the lady was pouring it. Super sweet lady. Skinny Fats? Mm-hmm. We're at Skinny Fats. That young lady.
Yeah, he was vibing with her too.
A super nice young lady. She poured.
She has a boyfriend though.
She has a boyfriend. She poured the drinks out, and I'm literally on my phone. I'm just texting. I smell it. I'm like, is that tequila? And they're like, yeah. So what you wanted? I was like, I did not order tequila. And Dom was like, that's what I ordered. I'm like, you ordered tequila? And he was like, yeah.
Little crybaby.
I was like, I don't want it. I need limes.
Give me.
He's like, I need limes.
I was like, give me 3 limes.
At least it was Luna Azul. That could have been
Luna Azul's like,
Torres
it's a good well. Yeah, it's a good well.
That could have been way worse. You could have had Torres.
All of it is bad to me. All of it.
I typically don't drink silvers, but since I knew, because it's the deal, it was like $6. But you know how much the tab was?
No.
$12.
I would have said 30.
$12.
Well, yeah, Skinny Fats, I would like to plug them too, because I had lunch there last week for the first time, and that was
cheap,
fantastic.
very cheap.
Shout out to Skinny Fats. It was $12 because I was gonna pay for the.
And we had foods.
Yeah, we had that little appetizer.
It was like
$12. Shout out to Skinny Fats. Shout out to Skinny because
Shout
I would
out
have.
to Skinny Fats, and the burger was delicious too.
Well, we never got the chance to it because I ran out of time because I got distracted texting, right? So I only had lunch.
Yeah, he's just texting his other girlfriends.
No. I was distracted texting. And I was just texting.
Ooh, shit.
And I'm just agreeing to whatever he's ordering. Like, he's like, beer, done.
Yeah, sure,
whatever he orders.
Well,
Yeah.
like it'd be
I was like, give me a Montucky, and she goes, you want a shot with that? I was like, that comes with a shot. She goes, I was like, yeah, give me the tequila. And he's like, I want all that. And I'm like, all right, sounds good.
Yeah, and then when she pours a shot, be the bitch. I'm like,
I didn't order
that tequila?
I didn't order this.
Well,
He's that bad Yelp reviewer.
I do not yell anything.
2 stars, got a free shot of tequila.
Yeah.
Oh my
Didn't order
God.
tequila, didn't want it.
I didn't want it, but it was a horrible tequila. I'm not a big fan of tequila. Even though it was free, not a fan.
Tequila's bad. I hate tequila.
Oh my God.
Well, you should automatically know if your customer doesn't like tequila or not.
You should sense it. You should sense it.
Yeah.
Look how white I look.
They gave me a free shot of tequila. I didn't like it.
Oh my God, this is a very interesting podcast. Thank you, Great Raft, for A, being part of it, but B, I'm sorry guys, this is a very interesting podcast. We jumped around. Thank you
Well, I figured I told you it was going to be like this. It's been a weird weekend.
Yeah. What'd you?
You said it before we set up. You're like, it's been a weird week. We're gonna be keep it weird, and we did. This podcast has been weird. So what I want to wrap it up on is number one. Thank you for amazing beer. Great Raft makes great beers.
I love their beer.
The whole community from Andy down, his wife, the team, you included, Vince, nothing was super great.
I need some more Bob in my life, though.
Working on it.
Big Bob. Bob's a G.
I'd also like to plug Bob because he's probably going to see this. Congratulations.
You got a baby, right?
Well, he's about to have a baby.
Yeah.
But he also received an award for all the money he raised for the service industry in Shreveport.
Oh, yeah.
I realized that.
That's
Shout out to
awesome.
Bob.
Yeah, I forgot he was doing that. That's fucking cool, man.
I forgot about that.
He's doing some cool shit. I like Bob.
He's putting my role on a pedestal. I've got a lot of shoes to fill with this role.
No,
one of which
totally
being
forgot about that.
Well, he's about to fill
Sorry.
2 shoes, little baby.
Yep, the baby coming.
No, man, I totally forgot about that. Shout out to Bob. Yeah.
So congrats, Bob, on that. That's awesome. Keep doing it because we're still not out the gate yet. And then,
But that's part of the reason why I love the team over there. You guys are great.
Yeah, it's a good team.
yeah, it's
Harvey's
the
the old brewer. That's who it was.
Gotta care about the neighborhood because at the end of the day, we're selling ourselves. We're also trying to promote our beer, and we also want to promote our partnerships out in the market. So
But you guys
Motherfucking
do,
Patrick
though. You guys
Mahomes.
do. So, guys, if you listen to this podcast still, first of all, I appreciate listening to this podcast. But what I really want to end this podcast on is supporting what you like. If you haven't experienced Great Raft, there's so many places here locally you can experience it. Craft and Growlers, Lakewood Growler, Lone Star Taps and Caps. Either if you go to a place that sells craft beer, they don't have Great Raft, ask about it. Ask about False Idol. Try the beer. I'm telling you, you will never be disappointed. If you had to get a chance to go to Shreveport, check out Great Raft. Great people, great family. I love these guys there. Tripp, listen, we met, like we said before the podcast started, we met off air a few times. Never really had a chance to talk. This is our first time talking. It's been a fucking great conversation. Even though 95% of it is off the
95%
is off the
to be
record.
heard by anybody, but
Off the record, but it's been a great conversation talking to you.
Yeah,
Tripp,
man.
I really, really appreciate it. But I'm really glad you with Great Rap. I love everybody
appreciate it,
over
man.
there.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I can't wait to do my due diligence to really promote the brand out here in DFW. And then, whenever you guys get a chance, if you see Walkermelon Texas Ranger out there, give it a try. And if you guys ever have questions, reach out. I'm an open book.
And he
We'll
will
geek out.
answer on all social media. They have the DFW Great Rap and also just the main Great Rap page. They will answer. I can't say Tripp will be on both of them, but he will be part of the communication as well if you're here locally.
absolutely.
So one big question is, who's next on Truth or Chug?
Who's next on Truth or Chug? We might be Tripp. Tripp, you want to do
Tripp. Tripp would be a good one. I think it'd be a fun one.
2 weeks in advance. I got to prepare myself.
Well, I waxed his ass today, so I'm good. He thought he was gonna tear me apart, and I was like, I only chugged one.
Yeah, it was a
You
bad
already
show.
said that. Yeah.
And we even did a bonus round,
We did 3 bonus rounds.
and I only
drank all
he drank all of them. I think he had 4 beers out of 5.
Yeah.
And I had 1 beer out of 5. So somebody needs to get his questions right.
Yeah, we got to discuss scheduling. That could be something we could for sure jump on.
We can do whenever we want. It's a quick 30-minute thing. We can do anywhere, any location in the weekend.
Okay.
It's a show that
Yeah, it's very fast.
It's a show that I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with it. It's more introducing people to the people of craft beer and fun questions about people in craft beer.
Yeah,
and
we
it's a
can do
quick
that.
show promotion. So it would be great. We could promote Walker Texas Ranger
Yeah, absolutely.
if we want to, but we could
Walker Melon.
Walker Melon Texas Rangers.
Yeah, so we got
Oh,
Walker
Ranger,
Melon.
not Texas. Drop to Texas. I keep saying Texas. Drop to Texas.
Well, it's Walker Melon Texas Ranger. But yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'm always down for that kind of stuff.
It's a fun thing to do.
Now I know that you live in the same area I do.
Yeah, I live like that.
So I thought he lived in Dallas this whole time. I live in Richardson, so I'm trying to
Yeah, he's
find
up
places
there.
in Dallas so we can meet up.
He goes to the Wing Nut all the time.
I go to
I can walk to the Wing Nut.
I go to Wingnut all the time. I have a girl that try to rape me at the Wingnut.
I was just kidding, but you live next to the Wing Nut?
I live off of Floyd and Arapahoe, so
Oh, shit,
you
yeah,
live
you're
right down
close.
the-
Yeah, damn, you're close.
I'm walking distance from Guitars and Growlers right there. So
Shots of
Okay.
guitars
yeah.
and growlers too.
Yeah, I
Shots
like
out
it. Yeah,
too,
Guitars
man.
and Growlers is great.
I love
if you
those
ever
guys
need
over
to find me on Friday afternoon,
Hey, you're at Guitars and Growlers.
Or the Wing Nut.
Saturday afternoon. Yeah.
The Wing
Either
Nut.
Wing Nut or Guitars and Growlers, to be honest.
You can find me anywhere Saturdays at not Crafty Ground, excuse me, at Intrinsic. But another place I want to wrap up here is False Idol Dom. First of all, thank you for people watching this. You already would have saw the episode with me and Dom with True for Chug, which I fucking failed that he fucking highlighted. But you can follow Dom anywhere on False Idol Brewing. You also, again, equally to Great Raft, if you don't see False Idol at your local beer hall, ask about it. Be slightly aggressive about it. Asking about what the beers you would like to drink and try. And they will be there. Trust me, they will be there. So thank you, Don, for being part of this. Thank you, Don, for being part of Truth and Chug. And then Tripp, you will be the next episode of Truth and
Beyond the
Chug.
bug.
Yeah, because if they don't carry your beer that you want, then fuck them.
I wouldn't say that, but facts matter. They should carry the beers you love. Shout to the stars.
You can always go somewhere else.
Shout out to the stars. And thank you guys for watching. You guys have a safe weekend. Don't drink and drive, take a lift. Follow Great Raft on all social medias, Great Raft DFW as well. Please don't forget to follow that. Follow False Idol on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, and their website. Follow them. Love you guys. Don't drink and drive.
Cheers.